Welcome to the Creative Condition podcast with me, Ben Talon, illustrator and creativity coach, founder of the Creative Condition, artist and writer. I bring 20 years of creative industry experience and a lifelong love of creativity, a fundamental pillar of human happiness, to you through ongoing personal exploration and the shared experiences of others. You'll get a nourishing mix of creative industry professionals and people far and wide using creativity in ways that can take our learning to the next level so we can maximise our unique blend. The show's been supported from day one by Illustration X, a tremendous illustration agency representing a shining global roster of illustrators and animators over at illustrationx.com. The music for the show is by Dirty Freud, who you can listen to now on all good streaming services. And for everything else, for my coaching, resources and inspiration, head to thecreativecondition.com.
You know, we've been thinking about AI quite a bit here, and we've started using Midjourney to help us to find and create an image that is the summation of what we want to put in front of a client, you know, because often you're trying to communicate something that doesn't exist yet or hasn't been done. And one of our clients is the Waldorf Astoria, and they've got these amazing stories of what that hotel's done in history. And they used to throw these massive balls in New York with hundreds of people, and they used to have elephants and stuff like that at these balls. I mean, talking about kind of 19 roaring the 20s, was it? And I was looking for an image of an elephant in a ballroom, and I just couldn't find any, you know. And so we created it in Midjourney. And it was brilliant because it was like, all right, there it is. And then you can kind of go, right, what would it look like if it was a glass elephant? And what would it look like if it was a gold elephant? And you kind of get these, and so it's a brilliant tool, and it's gonna make things a bit more efficient. However, we've also had clients briefing us where they've been on ChatGPT and asked it to create an image, and then they presented it to us going, this is what I'm after. And then we're kind of going, well, that's our job. And also, that was easy for you to do, but it's not that good.
Yeah.
You like it. And then are we trapped now by the fact that you've created this? So there's tensions there. And it's an interesting and fascinating juncture that we're at. I think the thing that it feels closest to was in 1980 odd. 89 maybe, we had these little grey Apple Mac computers that came out, and the onset of desktop publishing. Remember that term?
Yeah.
You know? And that was it. It was the end of graphic design as we knew it, because everyone would have the tools to design their own things, and there was a lot of existential kind of hand wringing going on in the design industry, because a lot of people felt that this was the beginning of the end. And then they had color screens, and then you could do even more, and you have all these fonts, and it's like it's just a tool, you know, and you need somebody to wield the tool, and I think that is the thing that I'm fairly confident about, is of all the things that might get automated, creativity might not be one of them.
Mm-hmm. Said that what you said there was interesting about the elephant, because it reminded me of something that I talked to a guy who's Duncan Wardle, who used to be the head of innovation and creativity at Disney recently. Very interesting story. And he talks about something he works with people on, and it's using a kind of yes and series of questions to push to the absolute nth degree.
Yeah.
So in your case there, it's getting that initial concept and eliminating a lot of kind of arbitrary process. Then it's about, surely, that, like you said about then what about a glass elephant? It's entering that yes and how far can we push this before we then step into craft. That's an amazing use of it. I think that's a really positive slant on it. And like you say, you're invariably going to get, can you do this? But that I've been doing this, like I said, nearly 2 decades now. That's been going on since I started. I'm sure it was going on 100 years before I started. The kind of the person who thinks they know what they want and is only going to settle for that. You just got to try to work through that.
Yeah, I do wonder whether, and it's only a theory, that what it might do is lead to more brave kind of creativity, because often as agencies, we want to go further than what clients do, you know, but like if there's a sense that it could have been done by AI, it somehow feels synthetic and not real. And so maybe you have to do creative work that feels like it's just too weird for AI to have come up with it, you know, too creative, too human,
Yeah.
and all of its lack of logic and creative leaps. And I think that's the thing. Maybe it could be a real positive, but we'll see.
Well, that goes back to what you said about, you know, people's stories and what they're into and all that stuff and that lived experience. That's what can't be replicated in that eye for a nuance or a tiny detail that could only come from a personality. That's where that weirdness comes from, not sort of going to the psychedelic end, but coming to the arse end of it.
Yeah, I think there's something where I lack something. My wife's a writer now these days, and she's played with ChatGPT quite a lot, you know, and she says it's really you'll ask her to write 4 paragraphs on something as a piece of creative writing, and on your first pass through it, it sounds impressive, and then and then you realize there's nothing there. There's no substance,
Yeah.
you know. And, that's the kind of thing with it, and maybe it'll get better. It probably will, obviously, but you know, right now there's a kind of a thing where there's nothing there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not writing, it's admin, isn't it? It's helping you with something that's very banal. If you really want to write, then that can only be human.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting stuff. No, it's a great take on it. And like anything, there's two sides to it, and you just have to fight for the good one.
Yeah, I mean, amazing tool, of course. It's going to fall into the hands of evil people and they'll use it in bad ways, of course, you know, just like social media and everything else, you know.
Yeah,
It's
that's it.
that's the thing with it, but you know, we'll see what happens, you know.